So yeah, after my mom leaves, I am fucking devastated. I was my throat was closed with the tears that I wanted to shed after like when she was on her way out the door. And I tried, and the way that my child cried, it was like she felt it too. And it was like really fucking sad. But everything, she had caught me up on everything. I didn't have to worry about too much. She really did the thing. She did the whole thing. And so, after a couple of months after she left, I was just like, there's got to be more to this. But then I started like something shifted. I can't like pinpoint exactly what, but something changed. And then like I guess my TikTok algorithm changed first. And I saw people doing tarot. And I was just like, I have always been interested in these cards since like watching freaking Scooby Doo and the little fortune tellers and freaking, what was it, Courage the Cowardly Dog with the crystal balls and stuff like that. And I was amazed. Like, people do this? This is a real thing? Like, this is a real job? Like, I never even knew this was an option. And I was so interested. I was just like, oh my gosh. So I was like obsessed. Now, mind you, I had actually, by this point, I think I had actually gotten wireless headphones. Well, I already had wireless headphones, but they disappeared somehow, and then I had to buy new ones. So I had wireless headphones. So I was like listening to like the people call out the cards and like, oh, read the storylines or whatever. I was back to back to back obsessed because it's just like I've never seen anyone do this before. Now they say not to like watch them back to back to back to back and all of that shit, but that's usually because you're doing it for the story. I was doing it because I finally found my people is what I had like in my head. And it took some time. Um I think actually that was when sometime after, no, yeah, that started sometime after my first child turned a year. And then I had actually, after my first child turned a year, I ran into the tarot um, pages, and then I like obsessively watched. Now at this point she had a consistent nap time, and everything was actually doing better, and I was like, okay, I really do need to like get a job. So I was I was doing better, and started reapplying for jobs. Um, and then eventually ended up buying my own cards because I still had money left from all the other stuff. And like I was trying to like learn the cards, and like also like went back and like watched a lot of videos and stuff. It was just nice to be, I was alone. I didn't have anybody that, you know, thought like that. So I felt a sense of community sitting in these rooms, not looking for a story. I was just looking for people that I felt like I could vibe with. And I ended up dropping off of some of those pages. I probably still have some of them in my like follow list to this day. But I ended up dropping off of those pages a lot because it's just like I got busy. And I wanted to see if I could do it for myself. I practiced on myself for a couple of years before I ever even did it for another person. Um, and then, yeah, I think I had tarot cards by the time my kid was born. But either way, child number two, I got back into it. Like, I think I stopped for a while and then I got like back into it. I think I had like one or two that I would regularly listen to, but after the second kid, it actually restarted with audiobooks. Instead of like watching the tarot pages as much, I was actually listening to audiobooks. I always had my headphones in and did that and stuff. And by this point, I told the kid's dad like, don't touch me. I like my skin is very sensitive. Do not touch me. Like, I can't do it anymore. And I just put my headphones in and constantly had them in, listening to an audiobook. And they were self-help audiobooks. They were, how to get past your mental blockages and things like that. Stuff like that. I don't remember the exact titles, but it was that kind of stuff. You know, one of them specifically was like Self-Care by the Moon. And so I would listen to the audiobooks. Eventually, I would take notes and just try to do better. So then I established a rule that nobody reads anybody's notebooks because I wanted to actually, I was feeling so much now. So I wanted to actually tell my real feelings. And I wanted to be able to do that safely. So I was just like, here, you get a notebook, I'll get a notebook. You can do whatever you want with your notebook and I won't read it, and then I'll do that with mine. Because, that thing where I have to get other people into it, yeah. It was almost the same thing with the freaking cards, too. Because if I don't get other people into it, they try to take it from me. So I started journaling. And that's really where the healing started, with journaling. I was just like, don't touch me. I was always listening to either music or an audiobook while I was journaling. And he would get pissed off because then I wasn't listening to him. And I was just like, I can't right now. I can't, because I have absorbed everybody else's energy for so fucking long. I am at the point where if I don't stop now, I am going to stop breathing. And so I went into the notebook and I told my honest feelings about what I thought about this relationship and all of that shit. And that's why I didn't want him to fucking read it, because I thought the relationship was absolute shit. I hated myself for getting into it. I love my children, but I hate that I chose him to be the father. And I wish that he could be better, but at the same time, if he cannot be better, I don't want to be with him. And that's exactly what I wrote in that fucking book at that point. And I didn't want to hurt his feelings. But eventually, after so many months of journaling, so many months of doing all of that and applying for jobs, and also still trying to maybe come up with trying to put the business stuff together, but you can be an absent father without actually being physically absent. So yeah, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I told him, like, I am done. Basically, I was just like, hey, this isn't working out. I don't like this relationship. And he's like, well, I like it. Yes, because you're the only one benefiting. What the fuck? Because, like, I wasn't benefiting. I had no more money. My money had run out by the time, like, sometime before the second kid was born. That was it. I had nothing left. And I had invested more in everyone else than I had myself. And all the materials that I had were going unused. Because I really did have, like, every intention in running my own fucking business. I wanted my own goddamn shop. And so I was just like, it's not working out. I'm already applying for jobs and all that stuff. Because, there. And so that's what I did. I had to take video calls while, like, occupying while making sure that the newborn was asleep and the toddler was occupied or asleep too. Like, I don't know how I managed it. I don't know how I managed to get these interviews done, because they expected 30 freaking minutes. And I managed to make sure that they were both sitting somewhere safe. Neither of them would cry, so that I could just hurry up, get through the interview, and it was done. And I ended up getting a job in sales after all of that. I hadn't fucking worked in, I want to say, almost 3 years. I think. Either almost 3 years or 2 years. Whatever fucking time. So yeah, that's how that ended.